Hey guys, Pokezelda here, and welcome back to 999. So I already took the liberty to go to the part that I wanted to go to, because we've done door 4 and door 5 now. We still need to do door 3 and door 8, and see where we get from there. I'll just get the flowchart here. Oh, I can't get the flowchart, sorry. So I'm gonna choose door 8 this time. So we're gonna go with, I'm pretty sure, Lotus. So I'm gonna go with door 8.
I think I'm gonna go with door 8.
There. We need to go to novel screen.
Okay, 8 it is. Yeah. Alright then. That means June's gotta go through 7.
What? Why?
This is the same.
What?
Yeah, this is the same. We've already, because 3 and, I believe 3 and 4 can go to the same room, and 8 and 7, or 7 and 8 can't go to the same room.
4. There are no other. In other words, you get it?
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep.
Hey, we gotta split up.
We've already seen this.
I'm sure.
And then 7's gonna say like, hey, we have to go through the door 9. So
Everything's
bound to find each other again.
Anyway, Clover, I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8. Any problems with that, Clover?
No, Clover, look away. Whatever.
Alright, let's move.
Santa 7 and June work toward door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8. So we're still with Clover, but we're with Lotus now as well. Well, not with 7. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Then Lotus laid her hand against the chest and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Then shall we go?
Also, my mic might sound different. I've been figuring out some settings. So if it sounds better or worse, I'm sorry.
It's open.
Or you're welcome. A narrow hallway stretched out before them.
Okay. Hurry!
Okay. Lotus and Clover leaped through the door. At the moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in their bracelet had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, oh, and this is when June is like, Jumpy! Or Jumpy! He looked towards the left, towards door 7. June stood there in a mirrored image of Junpei. Yeah.
June.
Jumpy. What the hell are you doing?
Then someone took a hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. Pretty similar to what 7 did. Okay. We've done that. Yep.
81 seconds left. Hurry!
Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead.
Yeah.
Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could.
It stopped.
With a shaking hand, she wiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead. Clover, however, was calm, aloof perhaps.
Pointless.
She muttered to herself without emotion and began to walk down the hallway, leaving behind the confused Junpei and Lotus. Lotus watched the girls receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity.
What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
Also very unfair to say that right now. Her sarcasm seemed a little bit more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and stared after the younger girl.
Maybe pairing these two together was a mistake.
You want 7 and Clover? Because that's just as bad.
Too late now. I better catch up to them.
After taking a moment to catch his breath, Junpei followed.
Oh, it's a dead end.
The hallway made a number of turns before at last coming to a dead end.
There's a door on the left, though.
For a few moments, or a few minutes, they stood in front of the door, examining it. Above the door was a plate with the door laboratory engraved on it.
A laboratory? Huh.
Oh, that doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place.
Me either. But there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices.
Junpei,
Huh?
Please, you first.
Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect.
Fine.
Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the iron door. He's like, if something's in there that's gonna kill us, he gets killed first. His first steps inside were tentative and careful, but as he examined the room, it became clear that there was no imminent danger. Lotus followed him and Clover brought up the rear. The room they found themselves in was divided into two separate areas with a curved wall. By a curved wall, sorry. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see into the other side of the division.
You know, I think the window looks into another room.
Maybe it's for monitoring something.
Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say. In the center of a room shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table. They were experimenting.
Looks so creepy.
Like electric shock therapy, maybe? Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to him.
It's kind of like that doll is waiting for surgery.
This is a laboratory, right? I'd say it's more like it's waiting to be experimented on.
Ooh,
It's creepy either way. You don't think that thing's gonna suddenly sit up or something, do you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands white.
Wait, where's Clover?
He was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad.
What is she?
There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her as kindly as he could. He spoke, and as kindly as he could, spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about?
What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What? I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay?
Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Clover bit her lip and was silent for a moment.
Junpei,
Then
you just
suddenly,
don't get it!
Don't do that! Let me talk first. Let me read the description first. She bit her lip and was silent for a moment, then suddenly she said the thing that she just said. Her cry took Junpei by surprise, and he stumbled backward a few steps, alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who'd just leave me behind! Something happened to him! Something bad.
Yeah.
Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward him.
What happened?
Toward them. Clover's eyes slid to Lotus, then back to
Look,
Junpei.
just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away.
Hey, wait, Clover! Hold on! That way is...
I told you to leave me alone!
He might as well have been talking to a wall for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. That wall. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway.
Clover, watch out above you!
And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a portcullis, sealing Clover in. It's a portcullis.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Clover grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could.
Hang on! I'll get it open!
Oh, for crying out. You'll never do it on your own.
Junpei grabbed the bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined him. The three of them pulled as hard as they could, but... Well, I hope she's not pulling, because if they're pulling, she's pulling against them. She should be pushing.
Damn it! It's not moving.
Wait! Are you gonna give up? Just like that?
No, I'm not giving up. This has got to be another one of Zero's puzzles.
If it is, then there's gotta be a way to open it.
Junpei nodded.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there.
Oh, yes, I'm on it.
Ah, here we go. Seek a way out. I can't help myself. So we're in the laboratory. Okay. Junpei, do something, please. Alright, calm down. A window made of really thick glass. I don't even think a bullet could break it. A silver handrail. Okay, well, nothing much here. Oh, that way we can look in here. Well, I'm gonna look here first. Okay, these are doors. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't know how we could use any of these. Well, I can say for sure I do not know how to use at least... Oh, sorry. I can say for sure that I do know how to use at least one of these. Which one? Oh, the one on top. I think it's a power cable. The power cable, huh? I'll take that. Okay. There's a thing here. The hands on the clock have stopped moving. The clock may stop, but time goes on. No time to screw around. We need to figure out a way out of here. Stand for various pieces of equipment. Some of them might be useful. Okay. This is a keyhole? It looks like a keyhole. It looks like a keyhole for the activation device. Or activation key. God, brain, please work. This is a really old type of keyboard. I think this thing is supposed to power that machine in the other room. Well, it doesn't appear to be doing that. I wonder how we're supposed to turn it on. I mean, I guess with this, but that's my guess. It's a computer. This monitor doesn't have a power cable. So one end of this cable needs to be connected to a monitor. And the other ends need to plug in under the desk. Alright, let's just slip you in. Well shoot, I can't use this. What's wrong? This cable has 3 prongs, but the socket only has 2 holes. It's not gonna fit, is what I'm saying. In other words, we're gonna need a plug to change the power cable into one with 2 prongs. That's right. Okay, well... Ethanol, okay. Got ethanol. These lockers are a little larger than the ones on top. Let's see if there's anything useful in there. No, nothing. Some boxes. There are cardboard boxes. There's some papers and stuff in them. What's in the boxes? They look quite full. As far as I can tell, it's a bunch of notes about some kind of experiments. But it's all really technical and stuff. I don't really get it. Quick! Figure out how I'm gonna get out of here. Alright. Well then, maybe... I wonder what this is. This thing here looks like a voltmeter. And I think the controls... I think this is the control for that? Gosh, there's so many dials. Why don't you try turning one of them? Nope, nothing. There's no power here, guys. I turned the dial a whole bunch, but even if I turn all the switches on, nothing happens. I wonder what they washed here. There's these weird colored stains all over the sink. Hey Clover, how are the power cables over there? Huh? What do you mean? Does the plug have 3 prongs or 2? I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look. Guess she does have to kind of crouch down to get a look under there. The cable on the monitor has, it's got 2 of those little metal thingies. What does that mean? That's it. Okay, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here? Okay, but... Well, I can't unplug it. It's connected to the main computer. I can't take it over to you. Damn it, that's no good then. Well, how about just the plug? What? The plug. Oh, sorry. The plug? Well, maybe more like a connector? It's sort of a thing that makes a plug with 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. Still useless? Not useless. Not useless at all. It's just what we were looking for. Okay. Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit? That's a transformer in a way. And back down she goes. Alright. Unplugged. I'll hand it over you two at the bars, okay? I don't know what kind of table this is, but part of it's all black. There's a pen laying over here. I think someone probably used it to make the table black. Well, if they only used the pen on one part of it, there's probably something underneath all that pen. Clover, do you think you can erase it? Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Jubei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker? Erase ink from a permanent marker, huh? Give me just a minute, Clover. I'll be right back. Well, Clover uses ethanol. You should be able to wipe off that permanent ink with it. What am I gonna wipe it with? Well, your clothes, of course. Haha, just kidding. Please don't look at me like that. You're scaring me. Anyway, could you wipe up that permanent ink? Look, Clover. Right now, at this moment, you're the only person we can depend on. I'm trusting you with this. You trust me? I feel kinda special. Clover, can you use the cloth on the table? Use, huh? Soak it in ethanol and then use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay? Right, okay, so I gotta soak up the cloth with ethanol. Well, she got the cloth, but she seems to be having a little trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her to get to work on that stuff on the table. Is this like an experimentation table? There's a creepy mannequin in here, guys. There's something sticking out of the mannequin's head, like wires or something. What the hell were they doing in here? Huh? Why is she all quiet now? They were doing Oh, what? It was him saying that. Huh? Why is she all quiet now? They were doing experiments on humans. Probably. Oh man, no, she looks sad. There's a mannequin lying on the exam table. I can't really see it very well from here, but it looks like there's a bunch of electrodes sticking out of its head. There's a mannequin lying on the exam table. It's got a bunch of electrodes sticking out of its head. The mannequin looks so sad. I gotta admit, I'm starting to kind of feel sorry for it. Am I getting attached to this thing? Maybe I should give it a name. How about the Science Boy? Science Boy is lying on the table. His poor head is full of electrodes. Science Boy is lying on the table. Soak the cloth in ethanol and... Junpei! It's working! It's wiping the permanent ink off! Huh? Huh? There's some kind of weird drawing under all this permanent ink. What's the deal with the drawing? Oh, sorry. What's the deal with the drawing that Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table. I wonder what this is. There are a bunch of numbers in some kind of grid. I can't see it from here. Clover, you've got a pen and a notebook, right? Did you write those numbers down and then hand them to me through the bars? Okay. Roger. Then why is she constantly asking me for for my notebook and pen? It's a rack. There's a bunch of cables on it. Somebody cut the outer stuff of the cables so I can see the wires inside. Okay. Here, Junpei. I wrote down all the numbers from the desk on here. Paper with numbers on it acquired. Material has been added to the file screen. Here you go. The 2-prong plug. Thanks. Okay. Put the 2-prong plug onto the head of this power cable. There we go. And then we've got file. What was it? File. Clover snow. Off. Okay. Let me write that down on my little piece of paper that I have just for this occasion. 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, back. Okay, we can use the computer now. No. Alright, I've got the 2-pronged power cable in my hand. I'm pretty sure this will work. Under the desk I go. And let's just plug this thing into the monitor. Alright, that ought to do it. Alright, let's turn the power on. I don't think anything's going to happen. Why not? Well, it's not connected to the main computer. You never know until you try. Pretty optimistic. Junpei pushed the button on the front of the monitor.
Oh, that worked.
With a soft hum, it turned on. Streams of letters that made no sense to Junpei began to scroll across the screen. Updating RSF file, make dir, make directory, make BC. I don't know what that is. That's how many seconds. Start.
What?
Okay. He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this.
Huh? It's running on its own?
It certainly looks like it.
Isn't that kinda weird?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor.
Called a wireless display, Junpei.
The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
Clearly, this was a reasonable explanation to Lotus.
A wireless display?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly, hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
He most certainly had not, but...
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
Oh.
Oh, it's stopped.
Pass with a colon.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Whenever people say colon, I just think of your colon, like your intestines.
Again, there must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it. What are you going to do?
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself onto it in front of the keyboard. For a second, she stared at the screen. She kneaded her hands, knuckles popping, and twisted her back left and right.
All right.
Her boobs
Let's kick some ass.
Her boobs really stick out, don't they? They're probably fake, I guess, because boobs don't stick out like this. Unless they're fake, usually. They usually don't have that edge to them. Like, her boobs should more be like that, if they were normal. Unless she does, like, massive, like chests, like, exercises or something. Lotus smiled to herself. Sorry. Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. Then, before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed, the click-clack of the keys running together like a machine gun fire.
Wait, what?
Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course I didn't! You're typing so fast, I can't even see your fingers. What kind of job do you have? What are you?
What are you? Are you an alien? Sorry, I just yawned, by the way. I just got out of bed.
I'm unemployed at the moment.
It's not, it's not because I find this game boring or whatever. Because I don't. So she's unemployed, like me.
I used to work for a cybersecurity firm, but I quit.
Why?
Maybe don't ask why people are unemployed. I do love her hair, though. Look at her hair. She's such long, luscious hair. I love it. I want it. Lotus blinked.
Huh? Oh, it was just something.
She stopped typing for a moment, and her face fell.
I see.
This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut his mouth. But Lotus's finger began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. As she typed, more letters and symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen.
Oh, what are you doing now?
I'm going to try and brute force it.
Brute what?
A brute force attack is... Well, the short version is that I just attacked the thing head on. The long version?
Without looking up or slowing down, she began to explain.
A brute force attack is one of the simplest ways to break a cipher. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. I'm writing a program that would run an attack like that on its own. It's not the most elegant solution, certainly. But given the circumstances, there isn't much else I can do.
Even as she talked, her fingers never slowed or missed a key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little odd.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about earlier.
What were we talking about?
The wireless display? It's kind of strange if you think about it, isn't it? How do I put it? Well, let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you, all right? So you enter 1 + 1. The screen will show you 2. See? Isn't that strange?
No, not really.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you?
You're like, oh my god, it's not connected to the main computer. So how does it work?
Who calculated 1 + 1?
The main computer, right? You said it connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right? They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining this monitor. They might poke the screen or something. Ah, I see the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Oh, I see. So this wire supplies the power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes. Just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear. Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations.
Oh.
But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that. Because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
Lotus continued to type. Junpei scratched his head.
So, what are you trying to say?
Nothing, really. It's just, I thought maybe, what if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Huh?
Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting. So stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought processes must occur in the human brain. See? Doesn't it sound the same? Maybe the brain is just an output device, like this monitor. Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else, in a main body.
Are we suggesting that it's the Matrix? That we're plugged into some kind of, like, you know, pod or something? And that's what it's doing the calculating?
We just don't know it. We never even think about it.
I kind of think it's the other way around, that our body is the output device and our brain is the input device. Like, our brain is making up the things that our body does, so the monitor is kind of what you see, right? Like, if you really want to go into this, like, the monitor is what shows the calculations, right? But the main computer does the calculations. Our brain does the calculations, but our body is the one that shows what those calculations end up resulting in. So that's kind of how I think about it, but I don't think there's some kind of weird Matrix thing going on, honestly. That we're in some kind of simulation.
Just like those cave people wouldn't know about wireless communications, we can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains, where we experience that information as thoughts.
Junpei didn't say anything. Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed very silly. And he was a little surprised to be hearing something like it from someone like her.
The brain is just an output device. Human thought actually occurs somewhere else. That's just crazy talk.
Did Lotus really think that, he wondered? It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. It sounded altogether too much like a bizarre cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else, in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all. He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged.
Huh.
I suppose that would explain aphasia and blindsight, too. Perhaps they actually can speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning properly. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
Wait a minute. What?
He knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he'd never heard of the word prosopagnosia before.
What? You've never heard of prosopagnosia?
Lotus spun around in her chair to look at him. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
No. What is it?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks?
No, I don't think so. Well, you've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right? To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same, even though they've obviously got faces. It's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. Well, that's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
Prosopagnosia. Huh. I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head.
And, what were we talking about?
The wireless display?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
Are you serious about that stuff?
Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it.
What about the other half?
Well, I guess I was just adulting.
Adulting. Impossible.
Not funny.
Lotus's smile had something rather misogynistic to it.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it seriously. It was the first thing that came to mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
Why?
I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the enter key.
Oh, then you finished that brute whatever thing?
I certainly did. And let's see what we got.
It's a brute force attack. Junpei, it's not that hard to remember the name of that. Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and then a line of numbers appeared, blinked, and then disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
Piece of cake.
Lotus, who clearly had patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous. After a few seconds, the accepted disappeared, and to be replaced with 9 squares arranged in a 3x3 square.
The screen changed again. What the hell is that?
No idea. Looks like a puzzle.
Suddenly, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
No, I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do.
Well,
I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
You're the puzzle head.
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
Well...
She's right. She did. I'm pretty sure she did more than any other person in this entire game, except for us. Pretty sure she's the only one who solved the puzzle. Or, like, solved something so we could do a puzzle. Like, I can really not think of anyone who did any of the work except for me. I wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself. You literally been doing everything to yourself, dude.
I guess you're right. Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
I guess Ace kind of helped with the pocket watch, but I feel like we could have figured that out on our own, I think. Oh my god, this is so creepy. Okay, this is really creepy. So I just looked to the right of my mouse, and there's like cat hair, like exactly in the shape of like the Blair Witch symbol, which is really creepy. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Oh, that's really creepy. Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzles shown on the screen. Oh, this is the thing, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, I solved it. Did you hear a noise just now? Yeah, I did. It sounded something like something unlocking. Where did it come from? I don't know. Probably here. Look, Junpei. The lights on the lockers are green. Damn, we must have unlocked it with the computer puzzle. There's more than one key in here. This one's small and looks like it goes on some sort of machine. And this one has the Earth symbol on it. I think the Earth symbol matches the keyhole in the door on the A deck. Well, if that's the case, we probably don't need the Earth key right now. Alright then, Earth key. I'll just tuck you away deep in my pocket. Now, as for the other key. That needs to go somewhere else. It was at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
He put the puzzle aside for a moment and walked over to Clover.
What's up?
I wanted to ask you something.
Hmm?
Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right? Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Huh?
Why is she asking me this? Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course she would have been worried about him.
Well, let me think.
He thought back to when he had gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small thing, that would help her. However...
Sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything. I mean, he did mention that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but that's about it.
Okay.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hmm?
Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, is Snake, was he born?
You're talking about his eyes?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got in an accident. A really bad car accident. He couldn't see after that. And his arm.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is... it's not like a normal person's arm.
Yeah, now we get the reason why she was like, it's not my brother, and the other
fake.
one.
It's not a real arm.
It's a prosthetic.
The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm.
Oh.
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded.
Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff.
It's not that.
Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs. Huh? On to puzzling. Oh. This key. The shape sure makes it seem like it goes into this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor is on now. And it's full of letters. showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay. Typing on this keyboard isn't doing squat. Okay, so maybe Clover can do something. Science boy is lying on the table. His poor head full of electrodes. This is the monitor. There are a whole lot of cables on this table. Jinpei? This thing here is on now. Yeah, that's because we activated the power over on this side. Could you, like, play with it a little? Okay. Yeah. I'll turn this dial here. Turn. Huh? I don't think it's working. Nothing happened. Well, maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the room again. The rack. I guess this is a drain for water, huh? Well, there's nothing here. We got the scribbling from the table already. I mean, I literally... Those are the stairs I just came down. The bars at the gate are just above me. The bars and the gate are just above me, sorry. Science boy. Can I click these cables? Maybe if you can increase the voltage? Roger. Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to max voltage. Max voltage? Hey! Wait, Clover! Oh shit. What? I think, You're just gonna blow the brain off. Yep, you blew up the brain. Poor science boy. Oh my god! The mannequin's head! Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. God, what the hell? Fire detected, fire detected. Fire detected, fire detected. The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately. Damn, the gate's still shut. Something unlocked though. Jinpei, the light turned green. Then the lock must be open. We can't just leave though. I have to save Clover first. Jinpei, look at the light. Yes, it's green. The emergency system has activated and disabled the lock. Now we can save Clover. Jinpei! Come on, kid, jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke is some serious business. Time to close the door again, I think. Clover, are you okay? Are you hurt? Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk. Of course I'm not alright. What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead. Sorry, I was gonna go as fast as I could. You two can do this later. Right now, we need to get the hell out of here. The fire is not gonna stay in that room forever. Let's go! Let's get out. You found it, Blue! Sorry, I needed some water. Clover's voice really takes it out of me. Junpei, Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, yeah.
All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of air, and with each one he could feel his body begin to calm down.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked.
God damn, none of these open. They're all locked.
How about that one?
The final door sat in the corner of the hallway.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to...
Jumpy!
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. There, at the end of the hallway, Junpei saw human figures running toward him. 3 of them.
June? Santa! 7!
They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions grasping for air. Jeez.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
And then we get the map, and then we go back into the hospital room. There we go. Let's go to our flow chart, shall we? Because we ended up here. We've done everything here. So let's move on, and we'll go to here. I think that's a good idea. Here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we're back in with when we are doing the papers. As you can see.
Just double checking, but...
Yes.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Skip. This is the best part about the game. Please read the rest. There. We already got all of this. Okay, well. I'm gonna leave it here, and I am going to stop the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next episode. So have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.